If there are 30 line cooks at a burger joint, and 32 line cooks actually, and they underutilize their new ingredients and then average the fifth worst mess up percentage in the burger line joint, should they become the CEO of a company? Ooh. Welcome into the PHNX Daily Bet Show, brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sports. We got America's top rated sports. We got. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Shane Diefenbach, joined as always by Johnny Venerable. How we doing?
Finally got back on the positive front of some NBA bets. I believe I went 3 for 3 last night for your boy, so I'm feeling good. We get to talk a little NFL. I told Shane I had to take a break from the NBA today. I want to ride this hot streak into Friday, where we're going to pick, of course, the NFL slate of playoff games. But I'm feeling good, man. Just if you're not locked into PHNX, what we got going on right now, so many premium shows, so many guests, so much content. We really do own the off season, Shane.
We do, and that's what we thrive to do, and we have fun doing it, and appreciate all of the engagement. And much more to come, I'm sure. But let's talk about some of our NBA picks before we get into all of the nitty gritty. Johnny, we'll start with you. 3 for 3 for you.
Yeah, took a couple favorites and everything hit just like I expected it to. We phased the Suns. It's not something we enjoy doing, but big emotional win the night before with a bunch of backups going into Denver and getting smoked in tune of about 29 points. The Knicks took care of business, just squeaked by at -5, ended up winning by 6 against the Pacers. They look good. And then the Bucks, that was my favorite pick of the day. I loved this pick. I don't know why that line was so low, -2.5. They ended up winning, I think, by almost 9 or 10 points. So didn't have to sweat out really any of these. And it was a great night to dabble.
Well, the Knicks got sweaty. Just like you. Your boy also went 3 for 3. Just a couple of sweeping cuties. Thanks to Kyle Kuzma and his 3-pointer at the near the buzzer. So he had a 3 with about 6 seconds left to go up by 3 points on the Bulls. And Zach LaVine took a jumper from the elbow with 2 seconds to go to try to cover. I don't know what that was. Thankfully, he missed it. The Wizards covered that 1.5. As we said, the Knicks covered barely, but they covered. And then San Antonio and Memphis. Guys, when I tell you, there's a reason why these overs are so high. How about to the tune of 135 to 129 was the final score. That was a no sweat bet. 3 for 3 from each of us. Just come on now. We're fired up. Let's look at my props because I remember right before the show, Trae Young was ruled out. So Trae Young got ruled out, so I put Kevin Huerter in. Kevin Huerter did not play as well. He got ruled out with an illness too, so that is a push. And then Tyrese Halliburton, I donated to the books again. No double-double for Mr. Halliburton. It is what it is. I think he had like 13 and 8 or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bad day for our props. We don't even need to see mine. I took a DraftKings special. Didn't work out. So we move on to some NFL.
Well, no, it didn't count, right? Because Trae Young was in it.
Right.
So, yeah.
We don't need it.
So you went perfect. 3 for 3 from Johnny. We love it. 3 for 3 from Johnny. 3 for 4 from me. And now it's time to get into some kind of fun stuff, I guess. I don't know.
It's fun for me. I don't know if it's fun for you. Is it fun for you?
It's have fine for me.
The Seahawks have a coach. They've had the same coach. They're a winning franchise.
So on the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now, you can get odds on where the next head coach who a team will hire as their next head coach. And all of the odds are available. You can get Phillip Rivers and Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck to become the head coach of the Colts, which is hilarious to me. It's obviously not going to happen, but those odds are available on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And it's the only place to bet on head coaching futures and next team futures for players. We got something interesting from Derek Carr, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But if you're more, in tune with what's going on in the NFL right now, and you don't want to wait for your futures bet to cash, well, you're in luck because NFL Wildcard Weekend starts on Saturday. New customers and existing customers can get a no sweat bet each day of the wild card round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you get a free bet back up to 10 buckaroos. So throw like a 54 leg parlay, same game X, and throw $10 on it. Get $10 back when it doesn't, if it doesn't hit, because it might become rich. Also, download it. Use that promo code PHNX, because when you sign up as a new customer and you use that promo code PHNX, you can bet just $5 on the NFL and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app with promo code PHNX. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions do apply, and see those show notes for more details. Let's talk about the NFC first. Your Arizona Cardinals need a new head coach, and Johnny thinks there's only one way to go with it.
Hey, it's Vance Joseph. Nope. Well, listen, you can get you can get plus money, the best odds on two very different coaches. You can either pick from Vance Joseph, who's the current DC, that is scheduled to interview with the team next week. I'll leave it at that. We'll talk more about that later on Cardinals. Or you can get Sean Payton at plus 300. So you could really kind of hedge your emotions on this, because if you don't want Vance to be the head coach, but you think it's going to happen, throw a 10 spot on it and at least make some money. But if he doesn't become the head coach, you can be excited. We do that all the time with our teams. I bet against the Cardinals all the time. I want them to win, but I put money against them. So, it's a healthy relationship. So I'm invested either way. There are some other names on here, Shane, that I want to point out. The Cardinals are interviewing some people out of San Francisco. Most importantly, Rand Carth is going to interview for the GM job. So I would think D'Amico Ryans at plus 1,400 would be interesting. If they get Rand in-house with Michael Bidwell, does he go after his own defensive coordinator? So you have to start connecting the dots here. So what I would tell you to do for any of these openings, if you see somebody have multiple interviews, especially as a GM for the Cardinals, go and find out where their history lies. So Ian Cunningham, for instance, has been in Chicago. He's been in Philadelphia. He's been in Baltimore. Would they then want to hire somebody from those franchises? Shane, go ahead.
So somebody put in the chat Larry Fitzgerald as a joke, and it is on there at plus 15,000. But you know who else is plus 15,000? That was a coach of a college team last year. The one, the only, Herman, no middle name Edwards.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep, you can get that on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Right between Carson Palmer and J.J. Watt.
Just J.J. Watt becomes the head coach. I can tell you where you would immediately be able to flush your money down the toilet. Steve Wilks plus 7,500.
Yeah.
Steve Wilks, who has a lawsuit against the Arizona Cardinals. I would say that's probably not a good way to go if you're a fan of this team and want to make some money. Another name that I like Eric Bieniemy at plus 1,800. The Cardinals, and rightfully so, very much into diversity and inclusion. Michael Bidwell is spearheading that from a GM front. We'd love to see this team interview a plethora of coaches of minorities, coaches of different ethnicities and people of color. And I think Eric Bieniemy should absolutely get an interview.
Yeah.
Because I think his personality would work well with Kyler Murray. I've said that from the beginning. Bo's giving me a little pushback on that. I get it. Bieniemy's not everybody's cup of tea. But why can Doug Peterson work and he worked under Andy Reid, but Eric Bieniemy can't? Not everybody's Matt Nagy. So I think Eric Bieniemy at plus 1,800 would be interesting. Another name that I also like, Ben Johnson, is growing on a lot of people, plus 1,400. I would stay away from Dan Quinn. I think Dan Quinn is destined for either Denver or Indy. I don't think he wants any part of the Cardinals. Byron Leftwich is a name, plus 1,400. There are a lot of names that, listen, if the Cardinals I don't think the Cardinals are going to hire Vance Joseph. So if the Cardinals don't get Sean Payton, they're going to hire somebody with plus 1,000 odds or better right now on DraftKings. So you may want to sprinkle, and it could pay off down the line. Of course, Byron Leftwich, if Adrian Wilson gets promoted as the GM of the team, they have a huge relationship, a long-standing relationship where, of course, Byron Leftwich potentially was going to get the Jags job, but he said only if A-Dub is my GM. So a lot of inner workings there, but there's money to be made with the Cardinals right now on DraftKings.
Well, let's see your official pick then, Mr. Venerable. What do you think?
Not to get the people's hopes up. I think Sean Payton right now is the smart play, but that could change in a week. That could change. Listen, we're getting news every day with this franchise.
Yeah.
So I think the Carolina Panthers are trying to talk themselves out of Steve Wilks, but the player support, I think the lack of interest right now, I've gotten word from some people that they've reached out to Sean Payton, and Sean Payton is not connected with them. And that's not to say he won't, but also Does Carolina be able to strike a deal within their own division? At the end of the day, Steve Wilks is just going to be there. He's going to have the interview. They're going to try to force an offensive guy, but they did that with Matt Rule. I like those odds at plus 500 for a guy that went 6-6 with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. To me, there's some value at Steve Wilks plus 500.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Well, here's mine, and I'm not doing this because I think this is going to happen, or I know something that the people don't. This is just what the Cardinals are going to do because they're the Arizona Cardinals, and this organization is a fucking dumpster fire. They're going to hire Vance Joseph, and everyone's going to cry. So I'm taking those odds at plus 300 right now. I hate it so much, but I am. That's literally the only reason why is just I just don't have faith in this organization. Anyway, talk about the Panthers. The Panthers favorite right now is Shane Steichen. Great name, great young coach. Has a lot of success in Philadelphia. Is going to be a head coach. And I think the Panthers is a perfect situation for him. I love it there. I think Steve Wilks has earned the job.
I do too.
Just don't think the Panthers are going to do
They like big splashy offensive hires. Their division is such in flux right now. Like you can win that division with Steve Wilks. Like I think Tom Brady's done. I love my guy Todd Bowles, but I think he could be like ousted after next year. No one knows what's going on with Atlanta and New Orleans. Wilks, to me, like he's got a good pulse of that team. Let them run the football with a good defense.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think he should be the head coach of that team moving forward, but we'll see. All right, let's talk about the AFC, Johnny. Some openings in the AFC.
I feel really confident with my AFC predictions more so than my NFC, and I think Jim Harbaugh is going to be the next head coach of the Denver Broncos, plus 330. He has better odds to be the Colts' next head coach. I don't think he wants to answer to Jim Irsay, who's a little bit out of his mind. And I think with Denver, having Russell Wilson, a lot of people think is a deterrent. I think it's better than what the Colts got going on at quarterback. And the fact that the Colts Chris Ballard looks like a dead man walking. That was an embarrassing press conference he gave the other day, bringing up Carson Wentz. So I think the Broncos is a more appealing job. And I think Jim takes that job because I think the Walmart people are going to give the Michigan people FU money because he keeps waiting for Michigan to raise his salary. They will not. He takes that as a sign of disrespect, and I think he will embrace the challenge, Shane, of going against Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert twice a year, and then Jeff Saturday plus 800. This Colts job is a disaster. I think it's the worst job on the market. I think Chris Ballard's lame duck. I think Jim Irsay is pulling all the strings right now, and I think I think Jim Irsay is seriously considering Jeff Saturday to the point he gets an interview. And if you're a candidate for that job, how can you take it seriously? Because at the end, Frank Wright's a good coach. We saw it, probably coached through a lot of adversity we didn't know about. I think there's a better than good chance that Jeff Saturday gets multiple interviews to potentially become the next head coach. Plus 800, those are great odds to look at that.
There's no way he's the coach. There's just no way.
There's no way he was going to get the interim job.
Yeah,
and they gave it to him.
You're not wrong. Well, Johnny, you want to address
the cut of his jib?
You want to address the comments about Just for Giggles is saying about Colin Cowherd?
I mean, is Colin Cowherd right all the time, or is he wrong more often than not? And I love Colin, and I think he's phenomenal on TV, but it's a TV persona. If I have always said, if the Rams job opens up, that's a problem for Arizona. If he just wants to be in LA and get paid a bunch of money and take his time rebuilding, that's a problem. He's not going back to New Orleans. I do think that if the Rams job doesn't open up, or if they don't go with Raheem Morris, I think it's either going to be Arizona or he goes back to TV. We've said that time. I've never said that the Cardinals are going to hire Sean Payton. I think this is where we all thought we wanted to get to. Fire everybody, clean house, look externally, meet with Sean Payton. That's what we've been given in about 3.5 days. That's all we can ask for. Now it's up to Sean. I think Michael Bidwell is going to have a good performance. I would be confident in his ability to meet one-on-one with Sean. But I mean, it's up to Sean Payton. Of course it is. And the Cardinals, if they don't hire Sean Payton, I've moved off of Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh, or bust. Get a GM that's external. Keep your picks. Go hire somebody else and move forward. It'll be okay.
Yeah. I agree with you on the Harbaugh front, but I have one thing to say before we pull my other picks up.
Okay.
Derek Carr.
We talked about it earlier. They took it off after his statement. They're back up now.
Derek Carr. You are a Washington Commander. Plus 900 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Give me those odds. Inject it. You can pull the picks up now, Leah. Come on. Give me the commies. Derek Carr, you know you want it. You don't want to go to Indianapolis. You don't want to be a New York Jet. You don't want to be a Tennessee Titan. I could see the Saints maybe, but you want to be a Washington Commander. You got, look at that. Look at Major Tutty, not Commander Tutty. Major Tutty. You want to hang out with him. You want to be in the barnyard with Major Tutty. Come on, Derek Carr.
I think that like in terms of odds and potentially that happening, I think you're right on the money. I think that is the best chance of happening because if you look at everybody else, the Colts have gone veteran play. Wentz, Phillip Rivers, Matt Ryan. They have the 4th pick. Does anybody not think that they're going to move up to 1 or 2 to get a quarterback? Of course they are. Of course they are. And then you look at the Jets, right? Like Zach Wilson will probably compete next year, not with a Derek Carr, but with a journeyman free agent like a Jimmy Garoppolo who will be available for free, right? Yep. You can't trade up for Zach Wilson and then sit there and then trade assets, premium assets, because it's going to probably take a second to get Derek Carr. So then you look at Tennessee, New Orleans, Commanders. Commanders to me make a ton of sense. And plus 1,000, I mean, I would have them over Indianapolis. I think Indianapolis, that's just the cute play because they need one. Indy's going to end up with Will Levis in the end. I think that's what's going to happen.
Here's a sleeper one that I almost picked. Derek Carr, you are an LA Ram.
The only reason I think that would happen is I think they could, if Stafford asks out, and I don't think he would.
He might retire, dude.
Raheem Morris, no Sean McVay, all their staff leaving. Rams need, like, I would start looking for rental property outside of LA. Might be a little bit more affordable because you could be fired here soon. Because if you lose Sean Payton and all of his assistants and the team is in disarray, it's like you might as well start fresh. Because I'm going to tell you what, their GM was ass when he was in St. Louis. He was terrible before they got Sean McVay, and he'll be terrible after they get Sean McVay. After they lose Sean McVay, you
can get Derek Carr to the Rams odds at plus 5,000. He's from Fresno, and San Francisco. That doesn't make sense because of what's going on there. They have 94 quarterbacks before him.
Purdy's going to be the quarterback of that team next year.
But the Rams plus 5,000. Don't hate it.
Trevor asking, do you guys think Davante Adams is going to stay with the Raiders? I do. I mean, they got to sell tickets, and I think they're going to get Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady's going to be a Las Vegas Raider.
I think so too.
Josh McDaniels, and Tom's going to want Davante, of course.
So but if the Raiders don't get Tom Brady and they're Stidhaming out next year or something, does he stay? Like
Josh McDaniels wanted Davante, and I think they thought Derek was the problem, not Davante. So, and Davante,
but Davante came. The only reason why he went was because of Derek Carr.
He's debunked that. He said he wants to be a Raider, so he wants his money. I think they keep him.
Yeah, that's fair. Johnny, anything else before we get out of here?
Man, we got PHNX Cardinals today. It's about our 8th show of the week, and I wouldn't have it any other way. 4 p.m. Myself, Bull Brock in studio. We're going to talk about Vance Joseph getting an interview next week. We can talk about Buda Baker clapping back on me on Twitter. I may or may not have some statistics to debunk what Buda is saying. I love you, Buda. You did not play your first 2 seasons under Vance. You were a proven commodity. Plug and play. And we're plug and play here every day. What's Sun Devils got cooking up today?
Got a game in Oregon tonight. We'll be live right after the game. Make sure to join us.
Live in Eugene. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Make sure to join us right here on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel following the game. But until then, you can follow me on Twitter at Shane Deef. You can follow Johnny on Twitter at Johnny Venerable. Follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_bets. Make sure to follow PHNX_sports across all socials, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We are live every Monday through Friday on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Turn those notifications on and subscribe. Leave a like. We'll see you tomorrow. But until then, peace, love, and Derek Carr. Go hang out with Major Tutty.